I noticed you have a Niet My President shirt.
Yes.
Recently, we saw these viral videos come out where CNN producers are saying, they're just doing the Russia story for ratings. There's that quote from Van Jones where he says nothing burger, though he has refuted that a little bit. I'm wondering what you think about the whole Trump-Russia story.
Oh, I think it's solid. I mean, you have 17 intelligence agencies that all agree. Not only that, I mean, you come down to just the basic, it's got to pass the eyeball test. When you've got him and all the people affiliated with his campaign lawyering up, his lawyers are lawyering up, and they keep saying that there's nothing to see here, yet they're not repudiating Putin at all. In fact, he's almost the only guy who gets a hall pass around here with Donald Trump. It's just, to me, it's all pretty clear. It's all pretty obvious.
We heard in the Comey testimony that Trump himself was not being investigated for the Russia connection
at the time.
You think now they are?
Absolutely. Robert Mueller wasn't brought on, so I hired 13 really high-powered criminal attorneys to investigate this for a rumor.
So what do you think will come of all of it?
Honestly, with the Republicans in power, nothing.
Nothing.
I think a lot of it hinges on the midterm elections next year. If the Democrats can get back the House, Senate, or both, they can start impeachment proceedings. But I think until then, we're stuck with this guy.
So you do want to see Trump impeached?
Yeah. Not that Mike Pence is any blessing either. But at least the guy is a rational thinker, and he'll probably listen to reason from both sides of the aisle. Where, we've got this thin-skinned, I'm guessing double-digit IQ maniac who at any point can just go on a temper tantrum, and who knows what kind of trouble he can start around the world. It's kind of scary to me.
Are there any other issues that make you particularly angry,
everything he's doing. Dodd-Frank repeal, God, I'm drawing a blank right now, but just about everything. The gun laws, anybody with a mental illness can just go buy a gun now. And just his overall inconsistency and lack of awareness. We had another mass shooting last night, and instead of addressing it, what's he doing? He's tweeting about Mika and Joe and CNN. It's ridiculous. His attack on the First Amendment is completely it's criminal.
Right on, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Do you want to tell me what you guys came out for?
You can't. We're out here because we knew it was going to be a bunch of anti-American fascists out here who are also anti-American and anti-Donald Trump.
Ameriphobia right there, right in the open.
And this is the result of a lot of mainstream media, which is propaganda news, like CNN, who has developed the minds of the thought process of what you see going on today. That's why CNN is a part of the takedown of America, believe it or not. And MSLSD with Rachel Madcow. They're all complicit in the hate of America, just like the colleges and the universities are also responsible for turning out the minds, because it's the far left professors that have been hired for the last 40, 50 years that are what we see in fruition today. Okay, so that's what's going on. And I'm Red Pill Ken on Twitter. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, can I say, Van Jones, you're starving? It's probably because you keep eating nothing burgers. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Okay, we're out here right now exposing the Ameriphobia, raising awareness of Ameriphobia. It's about damn time to have an American flag. I think it's backwards right now. I don't know, I'm backwards. But I'm just saying right now, we're over here, they're saying we're not allowed to walk in their space. They need their safe space. We don't care about that. We care about safety, yes, but we don't need a safe space. They come in this area, they have their protesting signs, we could care less. I love peaches. They're soft and fuzzy, just like that.
All right, dude.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
First, you want to just tell me what you're doing here?
Yeah, I'm here because I live on 72nd Street, and it's only a couple of blocks away. But it's, it's a patriotic American weekend, and I'm just horrified by what's going on in this country right now. I'm horrified by the behavior of our president. So, if anyone behaved like that at my company, they would have been fired so many times over. I don't understand how he's still in office.
Are there any? I saw you were talking to this Trump guy about, you were asking him about issues like healthcare.
Yeah, they say no, go away, and spew fake numbers, and that's frustrating to me too, because honestly, I understand that guy probably watches Fox News. He probably goes to get news where they're spewing these fake numbers. Now our elected officials are half the time, spinning things into fake numbers and fake statements. It upsets me, but I also am always curious to hear what they have to say and get at the actual issue. His seemed to be military related. He served in the military and everything, but he did not seem to care about anything else, or said, well, he didn't actually grab a woman by her, as if like that makes all behavior okay.
So just to clarify, you are here protesting Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay, just to clarify, because I think what's interesting, you brought up Fox News, so I guess I want to ask you, how do you feel about the mainstream news organizations in general?
I mean, they all frustrate me a lot. I think the fact that since he announced his candidacy, they've given him just unlimited pedestal. The Today Show, NBC, these are all networks that I watch, and he has just, I think it's because he's an entertainment figure. He knows how to get his time, get his 15 minutes.
Well, did you see those viral videos now about CNN saying they're just doing this narrative for ratings because their ratings have never been higher?
Oh yeah, the ratings for all news, every time he tweets something, I'm sure they're incredible. I refuse to even look at his Twitter. My husband will look at his Twitter and tell me whatever he tweeted, but I find it just disgusting. And I do think that, it's not so much a Donald Trump and mainstream media issue as it is just a media and technology in general issue.
Do you think the media, I mean, a lot of people have said that if the media would just stop covering him, during the election, he got all this free coverage.
Exactly. I feel like he would shrivel like the Bad Witch in The Wizard of Oz or whatever. Without the.
But interestingly enough, now he's attacking the media almost nonstop. He's the fake news. He says CNN is fake news.
He's not so much attacking as he's spinning a story to discredit the media, which I feel like is just laying the groundwork for whatever real stories the media is going to report in the coming, who knows, 6 months, year, that are actual real news. He's laying the groundwork with his supporters to discredit the media. Fake news doesn't mean he doesn't want the media time.
Do you trust the big media companies, the newspapers like the New York Times, Washington Post, or CNN?
I mean, I get my information from like 20 different sources. So I feel like because I'm able to look at 20 different sources with different perspectives, I feel like I get a pretty decent, trustworthy.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah,
that's what I tell people all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, personally,
it scares me that people don't do that.
Yeah. I don't trust any one source. In fact, there's a lot of sources I don't trust.
Yeah.
But you read as much as you can.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thank you very much.
Any other thing you want to say? Anything else you want to say about the protest or Donald Trump or?
No, I'm just. This isn't a huge protest, but considering it's a holiday weekend in Manhattan when everyone leaves, it's pretty impressive to see this many people out here.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're here at this protest, but you're in the middle. There's people out here with Trump signs who are very much like, I'm for Trump, and there's people who are very much like, no, Trump's bad, but you're kind of in the middle.
I'm kind of in the middle, yeah.
So what do you think about all this?
I think because of other evidence like CNN's exposure, I don't know if this side of the argument is too radical, I feel it's drawing a lot of radical attention, but they have every right to be here, and that's a beautiful thing. And I believe that we should have a conversation like we were having earlier with other people.
Yeah, so we were actually just standing around talking a bunch of people about issues left and right, and it was actually fantastic because I've come to so many of these protests, and so often, I'll just say it, the first 3 people I interviewed told me that the reason they didn't like Donald Trump was that they thought he was gross and that he was mean. And while, yes, you can think he's gross and mean, they're not policy issues that, there were many more people, fortunately, that were able to talk about substantive issues as to why they think Trump is bad, including why him being gross is also bad, but in the context of reputation and, government policy and confidence. So that kind of stuff is fantastic. And that's where we started talking, and you told me you're more in the middle. So I guess
I am more in the middle, but I don't think there's enough evidence for impeachment, and this is an impeachment march, so it's kind of like, no, not really. We don't really have any evidence. Yes, there might be feelings in the air, but
one guy kept yelling. The guy, there was one guy who was just yelling nonstop about why Hillary was better, and just not a productive conversation.
No. And that's where your biases come from, right? Like, if you're force-fed this CNN, MSNBC kind of mainstream rhetoric, then it seems nice, and you don't see the other side. And I feel like the reason why new media that's springing up on YouTube and Twitter and all that is coming to popularity is because we're just being force-fed. And I feel like we need people like you to kind of be on both sides of the playing field and say, hey, this is where the Trump people are wrong, this is where the leftist Antifa people are wrong.
Yeah. To try to I feel like it's just about fairly representing one or the other. I feel like with the media, they demonize Trump supporters. Right. But then you see, right-wing outlets demonize the far left as well. And I think that, look, I'll just say it, there's a lot more violent actors on the left. Yes. There certainly are violent people on the right, but I've seen far fewer of them. And I think the issue is the media, they're not fair for obvious reasons. Like we just saw with Project Veritas, ratings. It's all about ratings.
I think Joe Rogan explained it the best. Is the mainstream media really trying to does it really love you? Is it trying to, I don't know if you've seen that video.
No,
he's just saying or do they have an agenda? Are they trying to meet an agenda? Are they trying to get money from this?
Oh, yeah.
If you're the guy that wakes up and says, good morning, America, is how he explains it, right?
You
have some kind of influence.
Look at it this way. If you're watching CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, if you're watching any of these things for free, you're the product. They're selling ads, and they're going to companies and saying, I can sell you a moderate here. This guy, he watches us. We're going to sell you his eyeballs. It's not worth a whole lot, but when you get a couple million of them, so they need to make sure their views are up. Ratings got to be up. It makes you the product.
And I think that's what Project Veritas was about. It was to expose that this Trump coverage gets them views. It gets the clicks.
Yeah.
It gets people hyped, and it creates rallies like this that seem a little bit radical.
But you know what? The best part about today is that basically every person on the left that I spoke with didn't like the mainstream media.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And I don't look. I know a lot of people who work for what you would call mainstream media who are cool people who do good work. So I don't want to demonize literally everybody for the mistakes of the higher ups or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the left and the right are being unified by their distrust and distaste. Look, the left is mad because we hear reporting about 2 scoops of ice cream, and the right is mad because Washington Post doesn't correct their articles.
Right.
So everyone's like, you know what? We're losing trust. But we're actually having a conversation here, you, me, and some progressive liberals about how the media is just screwing everything up right now.
Screwing everybody. It's literal brainwashing, I feel. It's a rhetoric. It's a play on rhetoric. It's to make you seem like there's something in the air that's not really necessarily true.
So how long will this last? How long until they're like, hey, you can't produce real news and real interviews? I don't know, a lot of people say there's a conspiracy. I get comments all the time where they're like, be careful, Tim, you might commit suicide by shooting yourself in the back of the head several times.
Well, they're doubling down, right? I mean, CNN is literally shooting themselves down.
Yeah.
Right? They're doubling down on this rhetoric, this play that let's make it the most extreme. And I feel like there are embedded radicals inside of these institutions.
I think it's just money. It's like,
Exactly.
It's not complicated. We've known this. They want to make money. They want to, the Trump story sells. We heard it from John Bonnefield. I'm not saying John Bonnefield's the most important guy at CNN,
right.
But, what I was trying to explain to that guy is it's office culture. Right. He's there. He talks to his coworkers. His opinions aren't controversial. He was having a conversation with some guy over lunch. He probably says similar things to other people at CNN, I'd imagine. Right. That's an assumption, but, I don't think that guy lives in a vacuum.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So what do you think will happen today? You think people will just end up fizzling out, or what?
Yeah, I think it'll fizzle out, and I think these kind of conversations are going to be more important. I think this is the highlight. What we're doing right now is the highlight. The people talking from the left and the right. That's where it's true.
Hopefully there's more of that.
Maybe we do need more radical themed marches to have this conversation, right?
Well, you know, no Antifa showed up.
Thank you.
And that's why the conversations happen. I mean, honestly, I'm not, you know, not to disparage an entire group of people, I guess, but Antifa is notoriously bad for shutting people down and silencing people, attacking people.
They're believing in an ideologue, right? They're believing something that they feel in the air, and they feel like they can shut you down for it, and they feel like they're right, you know? And it's not fair. It's not fair, because other people have different opinions, and in certain circumstances, the left might have a good point, like Dave Rubin does a lot, and the right might have, like Lauren, for example.
It's you know, sometimes the right is correct, sometimes the left is correct, sometimes the middle is where you got to be.
Exactly.
It's always different.
Exactly.
All right, man. Thanks for talking. You know, honestly, I think that about wraps it up. It's just a bunch of people standing around with Russia signs. They want Trump impeached, so I think you got a good idea, at least a little bit. I tried to be fair as best I could. Some people really don't know anything about what they're talking about, but there were some people here who did. And so I don't want to, you know, it's a hard balance to find, because I don't want to make people look smarter than they are, but I don't want to make people look stupider than they are, so I'll do my best. If you like the video, click the like button, comment below, and let me know what you think. This is New York, Trump International Hotel and Tower protest. They're calling for his impeachment. What do you think about it? New videos every day at 4 p.m. If you want to support the work that I do, go to patreon.com/Timcast. Follow me on Twitter. If you want to donate on Patreon, by all means, but the videos will always be free and available, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
This guy's a machine.